Oh, oh man, I do love that intro music. Good morning, friends. I hope you're doing well this Wednesday morning. For some of you might have noticed, it's a bit rainy and also a little chilly outside. It's the opposite of what we're actually talking about this week. Oh, what were we talking about again? Do you remember? What's the opposite of cold? Warm or hot. We're talking about the warm weather, as the weather should be starting to warm up a little bit more at this time. It is pretty much summer, and summer means really hot or warm weather. We also discussed some of the things that we'll be talking about today last time. During our craft time, we'll talk a little bit about how to be safe when you're outside in the heat. So, get ready for that. Alright, but without further ado, that means we need to barrel through everything else. Alright, so what's one of the first things we do? It is time for time! Time! And let's see, right now, it is 10:20. Oh my goodness. 10:20 already. Alright, so we're going to have to turn that red 11. Which one does the red mark indicate? The hours or the minutes? That's right, the hours. We are in the hour of 10. We were in 11 last time because it was getting late. And what I say? It's 20, right? And so that means that the blue indicates the minutes. That's right. And right now it is 10:22. Alright, let's take a peek at that. So as you can see, the 10 is the big red number right there. And the little red hand is pointing to the 10. And then the long blue hand is pointing to the 22, just past the 4. Alright, let's do our multiplication tables real quick. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Very good. Alright, and it is now 10:22 a.m. Get the A there at the top. I've got to come up with a friendlier way to mark that AM and PM. Okay, we put that aside. We'll take a look at our schedule. Today's book I think you'll really enjoy. We'll be reading about a very special place. First, we have to mark it on our calendar. Okay, so here we go. The number of events we have for today. Number 1 is story. S-T-O-R-Y, story. Number 2 is fun. Our fun activity, F-U-N. Number 3 is our tale, or our folk tale, our story at the end. Very special story. T-A-L-E. Okay, let's go ahead and get that little X and put it next to the story, because that's where we're about to start. Whew. What kinds of animals do you think are in Africa? Can you think of any? There are many, many in Africa. If you've seen movies like The Lion King, or I guess The Lion King 2, Lion King 1.5. Oh, Zumba. Right, Zumba. The zebra without the stripes. Oh, so there you go right there. One of them is the zebra. And then we also have hippopotami. The big, almost like water cows in the water with the flat teeth but vicious appetite. And, then you have lots of cranes and monkeys. Oh, we're going to be reading about how they keep hydrated today in the savannah. Did you know that even in the animal kingdom, there's always an order of things? Animals have their neighbors too. And just like humans do, They have to get along with their neighbors in particular ways. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to survive. Because humans like me and you, we use our words to talk to each other. Well, animals, they have to use other things to communicate. They can use their tail, they can use their ears, they can use what's this right here? Our teeth? Their teeth? What do you think I would be saying if I was an animal if I did this? Probably stay away or don't come near me. And that's just an example of the different ways that they communicate with each other. We're going to learn about how they share their water at the watering hole today with a very special book. And I got another treat for you. We got some great music. It's going to be our ambiance for the background. Enjoy. Waterhole Waiting by Jane and Christopher Kurtz. Pictures by Lee Christensen. Morning slinks into the savannah and licks up the night shadows, one by one. Crickets stop chirping. A frog plops softly into the water hole. Plop. The silence pokes Monkey's ears. He opens his eyes with a thirsty grunt and bounces down the tree. Time to jump, time to swing, time for morning foraging. Sun cartwheels slowly up the sky, herding hippopotami. The grasslands filled with bird calls, whales, and a loud buzzing of insects. A great swishing of tails. Monkey thinks it's time for a drink. Wait! Mama grabs his paw. Stay away from the hippo's yawning jaws. No. Sun climbs the sky like an acrobat and dangles at the top. Heat sizzles the savannah, heavy on the monkey fur. Monkey stares at the water hole. The hippo trail appears to be clear. Wait! Mama grabs his ear. Swish, swoosh, snort, and grunt. The grazers are coming down the path. Look out for sharp hooves and quick kicks. Splush. Zebra wades near the lumpy log with hooded eyes. Slurp, slush. Wet and cool. Slash, snap. White splash and Bone Jaw burst from the pool. Bone Jaw. Zebra is 1 moment quicker than death. The log sinks back and waits. Oh, that crocodile was trying to get that zebra. You see that? Sun bristles bright and round. Monkey's feet nibble the ground. Prance, dance, take a little chance. His feet find their way to the hippo trail. Wait! Mama grabs his tail. Slip, slap. Lion is padding down the path. Not looking right, not looking left. Beware of lion, who crouches close and lip-laps water between razor teeth. Mama closes tired eyes. Monkey nips a few steps closer. Skips and slips a little bit closer. Rumble, wumble. What's that sound? A grumble like thunder thumps the ground. Wait! Mama grabs his leg. Whoa! No! Slow down! No, no, no! Back to the trees to munch on seeds. Well, this little monkey just can't catch a break. He keeps on trying to go to the watering hole, but Mama always has a reason to pull him back, doesn't she? Whoa. But with good reason. Thrum, thrum, elephant comes rumbling down the path. Gentle shuffling, tender trunk. Elephant has eyes only for family. Steer clear of heavy feet and reckless splashing. This means that the elephants are only focused on protecting the babies. So little monkey should be extra careful when coming near that elephant calf, huh? Whoop. Sun somersaults down the sky. Monkey's throat is parched and aching. Monkey's fur is almost baking. Monkey's toes are ready to go. Wait! Mama grabs his neck. There she goes, grabbing at him again. Gulp. Gulp. Giraffe is swaying down the path. Time moves slowly around giraffe. Neck bends, legs splay. Will lips ever go so slow they touch the cool water? Now it's the giraffe's turn to drink. Evening slinks across the savannah, pulling shadows behind it. The grasses start to whisper. Sun lands on the horizon and tucks away its lower half. Nobody is moving on the path. Floating in the water, the log watches. Crocodile waits for one careless step. Monkey's thirsty throat is burning. He starts bouncing, squeaking, squirming. Hurry, scurry up! Monkeys scamper down the tail. Quick, no lollygagging, no lollygaggers. Is it safe to drink now? Not completely. Eek! Take care, beware, monkeys tumble back. Snap. Whoa, there he is. Whew. Evening sighs, sun sinks, crocodile ripples away. As crickets start chirping, a frog strikes the drumbeat. Chug, chug, chug. Chug, 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 chug. In the still warm air, the monkeys leap, jiggle, chitter chatter, wiggle all the way down to the waiting water hole. Finally, it's time for a drink. Did you notice just how excited the baby monkey was to be drinking the water? Can you imagine Going the whole day like that, not being able to drink water? Oh, you and I have that ability to just get water whenever we want, right? Right. But there are all sorts of dangers waiting in the savannah. Monkeys have to be very smart indeed. Otherwise, you might find yourself in the dropping jaws of a big hippopotami. Yeah! Oh wait, where'd you come from? Well, where I always come from, you know. Oh, right, that makes sense. That was a pretty good story, pretty nifty. You know, me and my brothers and sisters have to be on the inside of their bodies too, you know. Is that so? Yeah, antibodies aren't just here to protect people, but all living creatures. And they have their own way of getting antibodies nice and strong. But I do wonder what they look like on the inside. I mean, when I came out, I had these arms. Do you think that they have tails? My brothers and sisters, I mean, on the inside of animals? What do you think, friends? Ah, absolutely. Okay. Well, yeah, something definitely worry about. Me? Worried? Not worried at all. Oh, hey. So what's the next thing we're gonna do? Well, we gotta consult the schedule, and then we're gonna be starting our fun activity. Are we continuing that telescope that we've been making? Yes. Oh, awesome, good, because I got a joke. Oh, joke time from Auntie. Are you ready, friends? Alright, get ready. What is a pirate's favorite song? Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Matty! It's okay. It's just a song. It's not meant to scare you. Because you know that when pirates have treasure, they call their treasure booty. It's just the language that they use. Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah, so much for the rating system. Okay, well, alright, friends. We'll take a very short break. Why don't you go get some booty? I mean, maybe a snack or some treasure to bring along for the show. Get you some water if you need some. Tell someone you love them. And we'll be right back in just a few minutes, continuing our telescope project. See you then. See ya! Oh, and if you tell my joke, don't let it get you in trouble. And don't tell them I told you. Welcome back, friends. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. It looks like we have a special friend in today. The Educator Gamer. Oh, thank you for chiming in. Oh, thank you for your support. Glad to have you here. Welcome to the show. Now, children, as you remember, last time we were working on our telescope, our piratey telescope. Do you remember how Miss Mithril started painting the top? See this darker line here? That's from the paper towel roll. And the toilet paper roll has darker parts too. That's how they use like a special glue to put our toilet paper and the paper towels on. And I just love the effect that it puts on them. Look at that. A bit of the work is already done for me. Look at that. Alright, and look, it's still sliding back and forth. So it's one size. And then I can pull it out to make it longer. I never did get around to painting the inside here, but I can either do it later, take it off, or I could just leave it the way it is. Remember, when it's making your art, you can make it however you want. Now, as you can see, Miss Mithril's table is very cluttered here. Well, when you're having art time, it is a good idea to get in the moment. Get into your own mind and bring out your own creativity, okay? So don't worry about the mess. But always, if you have a hard time, remember to cleaning up later. Always plan to clean up later, because it's very important. Mommy and Daddy always want you to clean up after you're playing with your toys. Otherwise, if everybody was just leaving everything everywhere, we just wouldn't get very far, would we? Alright, as you can see here, I have various stuff that I have been dying to use for a long time. So I got various stickers. I've even got some googly eyes that I plan on using, and probably some dried out markers. Oh, and friends, don't be like Miss Mithril. Don't leave your crayons in the car. I left them in my car, and they melted. I'm keeping them because I'm thinking there's something I can do with them later. I might have to do a little bit of research. But if you leave your crayons in the heat too much, they can stick together, and it's just hard to color with them afterwards. They get like this kind of smooth, silky feel where you're feeling the wax. Whew. Well, good thing it's crazy art. And not Crayola. Hashtag not my problem. Alright, I've also got some stickers I'm going to use, and I'm probably just going to put this entire box down once I pick out what I want to use. And I'm going to have you help me pick out which one's best to use, especially with the googly eyes. And now I have everything. Whoops, one more thing. My favorite part, Miss Mithril's silvery glue. It looks a lot like her namesake, because with a little bit of purple-ish tint to it, that's the color of Mithril, believe it or not. Speaking of my name, do you remember what the name I gave myself was? It's been a long time since we've said it. It's my alias, it's my nickname. Alright, so this is just something else I happen to have laying around the house. You may recognize this. I've used it to give Auntie a little birthday crown whenever they do a birthday shout out. So what I'm going to do is I'm using my imagination to see the shape before I experiment with it, and I'm cutting off the tops. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with it in just a second. Check this out. So I have myself a long rectangle here, and I simply must just tape it here. That's the goal. And that's going to be my first decoration. Uh-oh, I'm having a bit of a problem though. I may have to get that extra tape to tape this stuff down. Well, now if you ever find yourself having problems or learning new things along the way of a project, don't fret. Take it as a learning experience. So yes, I was not expecting this. I didn't really think about it until now. But this is what we put supplies off to the side for. Oops. Oh dear. Might be tricky. I might have to get staples for this. That's just something I might have to invest in. Alright, now I'm going to try my luck at pinning this down. I'm going to start from the top. Oh, and this is something I had to do with my eye. I measured just how long the strip was and thought to myself, I think it'll reach all the way around. And will you look at that? Alright, see that? Now I need to tape it real quick before it falls apart. Gotta be quick. And this is a good time to ask for help. Never be afraid to ask for help when you're playing with crafts. After all, it's fun to play with others, right? If you were here right now and you were doing this part, who would you ask for help? Tell me. I'm sure that they would love to help you. Because they love you very much. Alright, so I'm putting more and more tape on it. It's probably going to look a little bit more makeshift, not as glitzy as I'd hoped. But I'm going to accept that as okay. Okay, oh, we definitely need some more tape at the bottom. Whoop! Getting a long piece. Alright, I gotta make it stronger now. Now I can't put it over the toilet paper roll because then it won't be able to slide all over the place. Oh, this really reminds me of doing crafts in the classroom with my students. Okay, there we go. And it's still able to slide. Okay, now what's the next thing I need? More sparkles! Actually, we're gonna give it some eyes. I think I'll put some eyes. I got several options. I could put eyes on the side, or one on each side, or I could put them at the very front. What do you think? I'm gonna put them at the front. But will you help me decide which size I should use? I got 3 sizes here. See those 3 different sizes? Whoops, never mind. There we go. 3 different sizes. We have big, medium, and small. Big, medium, small. Let's see which ones would work best. Oh, get back on there, googly eyes. Do your job. That might work. Be a little lopsided. What about the medium ones? Better. Alright, let's take a look at the smallest ones. They could definitely be closer together. Camera light is fixating too much on that. Can you see that okay? Yeah, there we go. Alright, I think we have a winner. The small ones will do just fine. You know what? I was going to use glue for that, but I think I'll use my double-sided tape. Do you remember the double-sided tape? See how deep yellow it is? You gotta be very careful when using your double-sided tape. Alright, so what Miss Mithral likes to do is very carefully, like, first use your imagination, put it over there with your eyes. And then I'm going to use this little square, tear it off. Let me relocate where the bottom is. This is going to be the top. So that special tape goes right here. You can barely see it now, huh? And that Scotch tape, the Scotch brand, is very, very good for stickiness. At least in my opinion, in my experience. Okay. Look at that! I have eyes on my telescope. It's a bit redundant, though, don't you think, Miss Mithral? Redundant? Might be. Alright, so I'm going to put the rest of them where they belong in the container. Okay, and that's down on the floor. Okay, If I want to decorate it some more, I'm going to need to choose some pieces carefully. Oh, I know what I want. I'm going to put this moon-shaped one. This sun-shaped one. And this star-shaped one on there. Let's see. There's also a bunch of animals in here too. I'm trying to decide if I want to use one of the animals. What animal do I think would be able to see very good far away? I got a froggy. And a turtle. Oh, that seems to be about it for the animals, I think. Seems that past children in my care have gotten all the rest of the animals. Well, I guess I could put in... Ooh, a dragonfly. That's a good choice. Alright. I'm going to ask a friend in the chat to pick one of these three for me. These are my 3 top favorites. But which one should I use? And I'll put it on there. Should I go with the orange turtle, the orange frog, or the yellow dragonfly? Please let me know. Think it over carefully. None of these in particular have really good eyesight, not as far as we know. But it doesn't have to be about that. It could be just for fun decoration. The froggy? Froggy sounds good. Whoop! Okay, so this thing has been in the heat for a very long time, so if it doesn't stick very well, honestly, yeah, this gloss is sticky. That is okay. Gonna put it right here. Gonna use that double-sided tape one more time. You know what? Let's put it right here. Now remember, if you don't have the same supplies as what Miss Mithril has today, dig into your art bin and use your very own. Get your stuff together. Use that art supplies that you've had for a long time, maybe gotten as a gift from a long time ago, and now you finally have that chance to use it. Alright, so I'm going to put 3 more double-sided tapes here. Then we're going to add some glitter and we'll be done for today. On Friday, while we let the glitter dry, we are going to use it and make pretend that we're a pirate. Look at that, looking nice and organized, Miss Mithril. Thank you. You should put the sun next. There we go. Oh, they look so happy and chipper. Look at them. They're having a nice warm sunny day, unlike us. Yeah, weather was unexpected. I saw that you joked around earlier. You made a little video about how cold it was. Yes, I did. And I thought it was pretty funny, too. Oh, I thought it was hilarious. I would have bet my booty that you were that funny. Auntie. What? The pirate treasure. Yes, yes. Alright, look at that. Look how well it's coming. Okay, now I'll keep this part really quick. What I'll be doing is taking my favorite glitter. Let's see, do I happen to have my pink one in reach? Let me see. I was just planning on using the silver one, but come to think of it. Nope, no pink. Let's just stick with silver. Alright, now check this out. I'm going to take it aside, we're going to let it drip a little bit, come down to the bottom of the bottle. Whoops. You ever had a time when your glue wasn't coming out when it was supposed to? Look what I noticed. The top has my glitter glue at the top. What we can do is take our nail and just pull it off. See? Usually when nothing comes out, and if you know that there's plenty in there, that can indicate that there's a blockage. Oh, this reminds me of when you made your wooden airplane, Miss Mithril. Yeah, it does kind of look like that, doesn't it? Look how it sparkles. Ooh. Gonna put some dots in there? Yeah, I probably will. Put a little dot here. Boop. Just like our stars, whoops. That's okay. Just like last week. Making the stars. Do you think you're gonna give it a name, Miss Mithril? Haven't really thought about it. I guess I'm gonna have to wait till I'm finished with it and think it over. Alright, you know what? I know that if I were to lay it down, the glue would start to run. So we'll look it over one more time, and I'll finish the other side later. Put the same design. In the meantime, here's my telescope. Look at that. Oh, I can't wait to play with it. Look, it looks so good. Look at that. Whoa, whoa, don't roll over, don't roll over, don't roll over. You're still wet. Whew, that was close. You're telling me. Be careful, Miss Mithril. Alright, well, what can I do to keep it from rolling? Well, you could adjust the table or block it somehow and get that frog back on there. Oh, wait, what about those? Yeah, definitely. There we go. Yeah, you can put something beside it. If your art project is round, like this, and it starts to roll, you can put something beside it to keep it from rolling. Oh, I'm really proud of that one. If you've been following along with this project yourself, please feel free to share it. I would love to see your creations too. Alright, hang tight, and we'll be back in just a moment to read more of our tale for today. Welcome back, me mateys! Davy Jones Locker. As well, we continue our tale reading about Wishbone, who's pretending that he's the famous Jim Hawkins from the fabled book Treasure Island. Well, wait. We have to do schedule time first, don't we? Alright, ready to get those check marks out for me? Oh, we didn't move the X down to the fun part. But that's okay. Done with that, right? The X is down here next to tail. Ready to check it off for me? Number 1 for story. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We have done our fun and story. Now it's time for our tale. You may remember last time when Wishbone was pretending that he was Jim Hawkins, Treasure Island. Jim Hawkins was a little boy that helped his mother run an inn, or a place to sleep, back in the olden days by the sea. And who should come across but a sailor that was fearing coming across the dread pirate Long John Silver again. He stayed there for a long time, talking to the people, babbling on and on, always seeming afraid. Let's see what happened next. The captain's face grew bright red. He sprung up, drew a sailor's knife from his belt, and threatened, "I'll pin ye to the wall, you swab." The doctor's voice was calm and steady. "There is a sick man upstairs who does not need your noise. If you do not put the knife away, I promise, on my honor, you shall hang." The captain looked uncertain. He muttered something, put down the knife, and sat down, grumbling. "Now, sir," said Dr. Livesey, continued, "I shall keep an eye on you, and if you cause any complaint, I'll have you arrested." The captain did not answer. He kept quite quiet the rest of the evening and for the remainder of the week. Then one cold January morning an evil-looking sailor, pale and scrawny man missing 2 fingers from his left hand, came asking for the captain. But our guest was out looking at ships. This suspicious-looking ruffian made the fur on my shoulders bristle, and I didn't trust him. Mother was upstairs with my father, and the gruff stranger forced me to wait for the captain until he, the sailor referred to the captain as my old shipmate Bill, returned. When the captain came through the doorway, the stranger made his voice loud and bold as he shouted, "Bill!" The captain looked as if he had seen a ghost, and I felt sorry to see him turn old and sick. "Black Dog!" he gasped. I blinked in surprise and thought, I must have been mistaken. With a name like that, he's got to be a good guy. Doesn't he? "I, Black Dog as ever was, come to see ye, old friend Billy Bones," the stranger replied. "Now we'll sit down, if you please, and talk square, like old shipmates." I began to scrub the floor, working the brush slowly with my paw. For a long time they argued in voices so low that even I, with my excellent hearing, couldn't make out what was being said. At last the captain cried out, "No, no, no! If it comes to swinging, swing all, I say!" Then all of a sudden the chair and table clattered to the floor. A clash of steel followed, and the next instant I saw Black Dog running away and the captain pursuing him with a drawn sword, slashing it in the air. Just at the door, the captain aimed one last tremendous cut, which would have killed Black Dog if it had struck him. But the sword caught on the inn's big wooden signboard. I barked out, "Hey, hey, 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 Captain! That's going to have to come out of your damage deposit." But the captain was cursing so loudly that he didn't seem to hear me. Black Dog ran for his life down the road. The captain stood staring at the signboard. At last he turned around and came back inside. "Jim," he said, "rum." As he spoke, he almost fell. "Are you hurt?" cried I. He shook his head. "Rum! I must get away from here. Rum!" As I hurried to get it, a loud crash came from the parlor. I ran back, my nails clicking on the wooden floor, and found the captain lying stretched out, unconscious. Just then Mother hurried downstairs to see what the noise was. Now here's a picture of the captain chasing away that mysterious man. Do you remember what that man's name was? Yep, Black dog. Between us, he raised the captain's head. He was breathing loudly and hard, and his face was a horrible bluish color. Mother cried, "What a disgrace! And with your poor father sick!" Neither of us knew what to do, and we were relieved when the door opened and Dr. Livesley came inside and on his visit to my father. "Doctor," I said, "there's been a fight. He's wounded." "Wounded? Fiddlesticks, he's had a stroke. Just as I warned him, Mr. Hawkins. You run upstairs to your husband and Mrs. Hawkins, and tell him nothing. I'll try to save this rascal's life. Jim, give me the basin." When I brought it, I saw the doctor had ripped the captain's sleeve. The old sailor's arm was tattooed. Here's Luck, Fair Wind, and Billy Bones, his fancy, were all neatly marked on his forearm. "Thank you, Jim," the doctor said when he took the basin from my mouth. "And now, Mr. Billy Bones, if that is your name, we'll have a look at your blood. Are you afraid of blood, Jim?" "No, sir," I said. "Not very much, but I don't like the smell of it." "Yow! Doctors used to treat patients by bleeding them. They would use a sharp little scalpel that looked like a miniature shovel. It was called a lancet. Holding it with great care, they sliced into the arm vein and they would collect a pint or so of blood in the basin. They thought that this process removed poison, and if you don't mind, I'll just look the other way for a while." Ooh. "Here, Jim, hold the bison," said Dr. Livesley. He bled the captain, and a long time passed before the doctor bandaged me up the man's arms and took the bison from me. When I looked back, the old sailor opened his eyes and blinked. He tried to raise himself, crying, "Where's Black Dog?" "There's no black dog here," the doctor said. "You have been drinking rum and have had a stroke, just as I told you. Now, Mr. Bones, one glass of rum won't kill you, but if you take one, you'll take another and another, and if you drink rum, you'll die. Do you understand? Come, and I'll help you to your bed." With much trouble, we got him upstairs to his bed, where his head fell back on the pillow. "Come with me, Jim," the doctor said, and as soon as he had closed the door, he told me, "I've drawn enough blood to keep him quiet for a while. The best thing for him is to lie where he is for a week. No rum for him. Another stroke would kill him." "Understood, doctor." But then later, the captain asked for rum. I explained what the doctor had said, and he didn't agree. The captain muttered, "Doctors is all swabs. Look, Jim, how my finger fidgets. I'll have the horrors. I seen old Flint in the corner behind you, plain as print." "Flint? Who's Flint?" "Who was Flint, matey? He was a pirate, and a murderous one, but I won't imagine him standing there if I had just a little rum." The doctor said one glass wouldn't hurt me. "I'll give you a gold piece for a drink, Jim." No matter how many rubber bones a gold piece might buy, I didn't want his money. But at last, to keep him quiet, I gave him one very small glass of rum. He drank it greedily and then said he had to be off. He was too weak to move, and at last he growled, "Thunder! That doctor's done me." After a moment he added, "If I can't get away and they tip me the black spot, they're after my sea chest. Jim, if they give me the black spot, you run to this Dr. Swab and tell him to pipe all hands, and he'll find Flint's crew here at the Admiral Benbow." Basically, what he had said was, "I have this treasure. If something happens, if they bring me a little piece of paper with a black spot on it, I want you to go get Dr. Livesley and the policeman to come take out the pirates that have come to take care of me, or finish the job." "The black spot?" I asked. "What's that?" I once knew a Spot, but he was white and gray. Nice guy, for a bulldog. "That's a summons," the captain explained. "They draw a black spot on a piece of paper and hand it to me. It means the crew is going to turn against me. They want what's mine. I was old Flint's first mate, and I'm the only one as knows the place. He gave the map to me in Savannah when he was laying dying. But don't you go unless they put a black spot on me, or unless you see the seafaring man with one leg, Jim." I didn't say it, but I thought, a little hung up on one-legged sailors, are we, Captain? He fell asleep after that. I don't know what would I've done if things had gone well, but the very evening my mother came downstairs weeping. My heart sank. Is father?" I began to ask. "Oh, Jim, he's gone," she said, her voice breaking into a sob, and she hugged me. "We've got to be brave, Jim." "Yes, Mother," I said miserably. I felt terrible. I wanted to creep into a dark corner, howl, put my head down on my paws, and never come out again. It was an awful time, and with our sorrow, the arranging of the funeral, and the daily work to be done at the inn, I didn't have time to think of the captain's troubles. Over the next few days he had gotten somewhat better. He limped downstairs to eat his meals, but he talked very little. He seemed lost in his own thoughts. Then, a few weeks after my father's funeral, there came a tapping along the high road, a second stranger. A ragged old beggar with a green cloth bound over his eyes. He cried out, "Will any kind friend inform a poor blind man where he may be?" "You're at the Admiral Benbow Inn at Black Hill Cove," said I. "I hear a voice," said he, "a young voice. Will you take my hand, my kind young friend, and lead me in?" I held out my paw, and the horrible creature gripped it like a vice. "Now, you boy," he said, "take me into the captain, or I'll break it." "Ouch!" I cried. "Hey, watch it!" Grrr, if this guy had been a cat, I would have shown him a thing or two. Now I could smell familiar scents. Salt, tar, and the sound of combination of anger and fear that was the same as black dog smell. And come to think of it, much like the captain's, too. The stranger twisted my paw so painfully that I led him to where our sick old buccaneer was sitting. "Here he is," I said with a gasp. "Bill!" the blind man screeched. "Here's an old friend." The poor captain's face turned pale with horror. He croaked, "Blind Pew." "Sit where you are, Bill," the beggar said. "If I can't see, I can hear a finger stirring. Hold out your left hand. Boy, take his left hand by the wrist, and bring it near to my right." I saw him pass something into the captain's hand. The blind man then turned and rushed out. The captain stared at the piece of paper in his hand. "The black spot!" he cried. "They give me until 10 o'clock. 6 hours. We'll do him in yet, Jim." He leapt to his feet, swayed, and then fell straight into the floor. I ran for my mother, but we were too late. The captain had been struck dead by a thundering stroke, as the doctor had warned. I told my mother what had happened, and she said, "The captain owed us money, and these shipmates of his will certainly not leave us a penny. We'll have to take it ourselves." I stared at her. Was she crazy? I had just told her that Pew and his shipmates were coming. But my mother never changed her mind about anything, not even when I gave her all sorts of reasons why I didn't need a bath. So I crouched beside the captain's body and pawed at his pockets, searching for the key to his sea chest. I found only his knife, a few coins, a thimble, some thread, and some big needles. "Perhaps the key's around his neck," my mother suggested. Clever! I should have thought of checking his collar. And there, sure enough, was the key, hanging from a string. Grabbing it in my teeth, I yanked it free and gave it to my mother. We hurried up the stairs to his room. His sea chest was old and battered, with the initial B burned on the top. My mother unlocked it, released a strong smell of tobacco and tar. Whew! The captain could have used the soup bone and liver air freshener. We found a suit of good clothes, 4 pistols, a piece of bar silver, an old Spanish watch, a pair of brass-mounted compass, and 5 West Indian seashells. Then came an old boat cloak, and below that a bundle tied up in oilcloth, looking like papers, and a canvas bag jingling with coins. "I'm an honest woman," my mother said. "I'll take no more than what he owed us." Mom? Hello? With pirates lurking nearby, I suggest we simplify our plan. Grab everything and run. Run! Run! I said. But she insisted on taking only the exact amount. The task required more than 2 hours' work. Counting was hard because the coins were all of country sizes. They were doubloons, louis d'ors, guineas, pieces of 8, and I don't know what else. Mother would only take English money. As she was counting, my ears suddenly perked up. I heard the tap, tap, tapping of the blind man's stick on the frozen road. "The pirates are early! They're here!" I yelped. Mother jumped to her feet. "This much will have to do." I grabbed the oilcloth pouch in my mouth. "I'll take this with me and make it even," I mumbled. We hurried downstairs and slipped out the side door, and not a second too soon, for I heard voices around at the front door. It was a freezing night. We ran in the shadows until we reached the bridge that led over the river and into the village. Not daring to cross it in full view of the inn, we slipped down the bank on all fours, which was harder for my mother than for me. Then we hid, lying on our stomachs in the frosty grass. By the way, if you've ever tried it, it's not very comfortable. Stomach fur is too thin to keep the chill out. I peeked back to see what the villains were doing. 6 or 7 men stood outside the inn, and one shouted, "Down with the door!" I shivered. The voice was that of the blind Mr. Pugh. "Aye, aye, sir," answered the 2 or 3 of them, but they found the door locked. The blind man ordered them inside, and after a moment someone called out, "Bill's dead! Search him, you lubbers!" "Then go aloft and find the chest," Pugh ordered them. Within seconds, someone threw open the captain's window and yelled, "Pugh, they've turned out the chest aloft and allowing aloft." "Is Flint's map up there?" Pugh bellowed. "We don't see it." At that, Pugh cursed like a madman. "It's the people of the inn. If I had that boy here, I'd put his eyes out. Maybe they're close by. Scatter and search." Excuse me? Could I change my order from adventure to plain dog biscuit? No? I was afraid of that. Just as the men came outside, we heard a whistle from the other side of the bridge. "There's the lookout!" one of the men shouted. "We'll have to run!" The policemen were coming. And here they are. Here's Wishbone pretending that he's underneath the bridge with his mother, which you don't really see in the picture, but he was hiding. And they're the pirates. They're about to be run off. Let's read to see who exactly ran them off. "Run! No!" Pew screamed. "Oh, shiver my soul, if I had eyes!" And he began to strike about him with a stick. The whistle came again, sharper than before, and then a pistol shot rang out. There was clearly a signal of danger from their lookout, and all the buccaneers ran in every direction. They left Pugh behind, stumbling and groping. "Shipmates!" Pugh cried in fear. "Johnny! Black Dog! Don't leave old Pugh!" Just then I heard and smelled horses, and 4 or 5 riders galloped across the bridge. Pugh screamed, ran across the road, and fell into a ditch. He scrambled up again, but he was bewildered and dashed right under the horses. I heard a horse neigh as Pugh screeched in fear. He fell under the hooves. The leaping horses couldn't help but trampling him, and he tumbled from beneath his hooves like a bundle of old clothes. Pugh rolled on his side and then gently collapsed on his face. He did not move again. Blind Pugh was stone gone. And that's the end of Chapter 2. Take a gander of how long Chapter 3 is. Whew! Oh, yeah, we can definitely do that. On Friday, we will continue with Chapter 3. Now, before I let you go, I noticed that the next page was a table of contents. Or a glossary. Actually, it's a glossary. Excuse me. Do you know what a glossary is? In a book, it's an explanation of things. Right here is telling us some pirate words. And then the more words over here that you see, explain what they mean. I'll pick a couple out for you. Ahoy! A seafaring person's way of saying hi. When 2 shipmates come alongside each other, the one captain will shout "Ahoy!" to the captain of the other vessel. Lay to. Lay to means to bet on something. Mutiny. Mutiny. Sailors take over a ship by using force to get rid of the officers in charge. Mate. A friend. When someone is called matey, it means he or she is close friends to the shipmate. Yeah, nothing on the second page. We'll go over some more of the definitions. Oh, there's even some words that describe different parts of a ship. Oh, how exciting. But we've run out of time for today, friends. I hope you've been enjoying Wishbone's Salty Dog with me. Remember that when we're listening to this story, the little boy, Jim Hawkins, is played by Wishbone, so we're seeing it from the puppy dog's eyes. Alright, let's go to our schedule. We have finished tale. Oh, there you are. always rolling out of my sight. You ready to check it off with me? Check. Alright. And shall we do one more time? It is now 11:20. Where it was 10:20 before, all we simply have to do is erase that 0 and turn it into a 1 to make it 11 again. And I'll erase one of the 2's as well. Don't have to do very much with this one. Simply move the small hand up here to the 11, and then wiggle the big hand here just a little bit, and it is now 11:22 a.m. Alright friends, I hope you have a wonderful day. See if you can do something super fun today. Do you want to pretend that you're a pirate? See if you can find something in the house that can be your buried treasure, or your booty, as Auntie called it. Have one of you, maybe if you got someone to play with, have someone hide it. Or heck, maybe even Mommy and Daddy can help you hide it. And they won't tell you where it is, it'll be a secret. And then, go on a treasure hunt. Make a treasure map if you can. And see if you can find it on your own, using the words that we practiced today. This is Ms. Mithra, and I'll see you next time, friends. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. Remember to wash your hands frequently. Stay safe.